Hi Year 9, we hope you've had a nice half term and not having any homework on Show My Homework over the past few weeks will have allowed you to kind of catch up and have a bit of a break, ready to restart today after half term. So we're just going to continue with what we've been doing. We've obviously been talking about healthy lifestyles, food, routine, and today we're going to specifically look at Spanish foods, Latin American foods, and if you have tried any of them. So the first thing that you're going to do is you are going to match up in the box the Spanish to the English. A lot of it is the vocabulary we've been working with recently. Others you may not know, so process of elimination or cognates to help you. On this slide, you are going to find your answers in the right-hand box, and you are going to either pick the green, orange, or red task to translate. So a lot of it you should be able to do, especially with the vocab box on the right-hand side. If you do need to leave a gap, that is fine. You can green pen it afterwards, as we would do in school. Here are your answers. So obviously if you green pen them, see how you got on. These are all pieces of work that you can upload to Show My Homework and show us what work you've been doing. It also helps for us to understand what you're understanding and if you need a bit more help on anything in particular. If you did try the red one, Argentina, just want you to have a look at this here, the la comí. So la comí, we know comí is I ate. La is your direct object pronoun. So that's to avoid repetition, saying I ate it, and it's la because we're talking about la paella. So on this slide there are a couple of different Spanish foods: paella, churros, tapas, tortilla española, and then you've got a couple of common foods at the bottom. What I want you to do, there is some information here, but just very quickly have a Google, see if you can find out some information about these foods, literally no more than about 3 minutes, just to get a bit of information. Have a look at a couple of pictures just to familiarise yourself with the different foods that are common in Spain. Again, a couple of more common words, foods in Spain. You're going to translate these phrases in Spanish into English. Some of them you may already know, you probably will know. Others you may need to just have a Google or use word reference to find out what they mean. And if you pause the video now, it'll give you some time to find the answers, and then we'll show the answers next. So here you are going to read the text, and eventually you need to identify the 4 correct phrases from here. To help you do this, you are going to have a read through and you're going to find these pieces of vocabulary. They are in order, which should make it easy for you. So at this point I would pause it, find the vocabulary. Once you've found the vocabulary, replay, and then we will go through that vocabulary just to make sure you know that it's correct, and then if you try the reading comprehension at the bottom. So if you pause now, and then we'll just go through that vocabulary. So an endless amount is un sin fin, without end, without finish. Enjoys is disfruta. Prestigious, worldwide, mundial, like mundo. It was invented, fue inventado. 2000 years ago, hace 2000 años. Joya is gem, like jewelry. It was introduced, fue introducido. a mix of tastes, which we will have seen already today. Una mezcla de sabores. It has all. Lo tiene todo. It combines. Combina. So still lots of cognates here. Composed of. Compuesta de. And then really tasty. Está riquísima. So now just want to see if you can pick out the 4 correct phrases from the bottom. Again, just pause it, give yourself the time to read through and work out which ones are the true phrases. So your answers are: number 1 is true, so that's correct. So Latin food is very varied. Well, it is, because it says there's an endless amount of flavours. Number 2, it is not very well known internationally. Well, it is, because it says Latin American food enjoys its great prestige worldwide. So it's renowned worldwide. El ceviche is quite a new dish. New. No, because it's 2,000 years old. Its main ingredient is fish, yet because it says un plato de pescado. El chairo es el plato nacional de Bolivia. Doesn't mention anywhere that it's the national dish of Bolivia. Las arepas no fueron inventadas en las Islas Canarias. So they weren't invented in the Canary Islands, they were exported to the Canary Islands. So that's true, they weren't created there. La bandera contains lots of different vegetables. Well, it says la bandera combina el arroz, las judías, and carne. Arroz is rice, carne is meat. Judías, if you didn't know either way, well, that doesn't mean that there's a lot of different vegetables. Judías are beans, so no, that's not correct. So el bori is going to be the next one. It's not a vegetarian dish. Yep, that's correct, because it says it's got chicken in. So if you remember the title for today's lesson, it's Has probado la comida española. So has probado is the perfect tense, which we have seen before. We saw it at the start of the year, and obviously we've been recapping it throughout. Now the perfect tense is used to say what has happened or what someone has done. It's a past tense, but the main thing is the translation, what has happened, what you have done, what you have eaten, what you've tried. So 2 parts for it. You've got the A bit at the start for the I have. Then you get your infinitive, you take off the ending, and you add either other or either. So you've got ado for AR verbs, and you have got ido for ER or IR verbs. So if we have probar, which is to try, if you wanted to say I have tried, it would be he probado. Comer, to eat. If you wanted to say I have eaten, it wouldn't be he comado, because comer is er, so it'd be he comido. Ir, to go, so I have gone, I have been. He ido looks irregular, but it's not. So you take off the AR, add ADO, you take off the ER and IR and add either. So a couple of examples to try. If you wanted to say, I have visited Sevilla a lot of times, visitar, you take off the AR and you add ADO, so it's going to be a visitado. Next one, I have tried paella a lot, he probado. So this time we're talking about my friends. So it's going to be they. We're talking about they went. So it's going to be han ido. They went to a Spanish restaurant in the city. So So just give yourself some time to go through this activity. You just need to pick whether it's going to be one of the three options here. So we're talking about yo, which is I. So for this one, it is going to be A. A ido. So I have been to the capital of Madrid where it's going to be I again. I have tried paella. It's going to be A. Give yourself a couple of minutes to go through these, translate them if you can so you can practice that new vocabulary and them dishes, and pause it about now, play it when you're ready and see the answers. So number 2, we're talking about my sister, so we're talking about I, you, he, she, so A, as, a for the she. So my sister has spent the holidays in Mexico where something tried enchiladas. So again, it's going to be she has tried enchiladas. Number 3, my classmates and I. So we're talking about my friends and I, my classmates and I, we. So as a, hemos, habéis, an. It's going to be hemos for we. We have been to Malaga on a school trip and something eaten tortilla española, and we have eaten. It could be I have eaten as well, but you're still collectively talking about your schoolmates and you. Number 4, my parents. So we're talking about they. So it's going to be Anne. They have been to Spain a lot of times, but my mum has not tried gazpacho. So it's going to be she has a. Alba, so we're talking about she. She has been to the south of Spain, but I have not visited because it's got yo. I have not visited because I prefer to spend my holidays in South America. Therefore, this summer, my family and I, we're talking about we, hemos estado, we have been in Tijuana, which something, so sido comes from ser, which is to be, which has been, ha sido genial, which has been great because something tried Tijuana food, which is spicy. So it could be A or it could be hemos, either one. This slide, we've got answers to the question, have you tried Spanish food? You are going to pick either the green, the orange, or the red. So if you're doing the green, you're going to look for the particular words at the bottom. If you're going to do the orange, you're going to pick out the verbs in the perfect tense and the conditional tense, and then translate the text on the left. And then if you are doing the red one, you're going to pick out the verbs in the perfect, preterite, near future, and conditional. Find the 2 direct object pronouns which we looked at the last lesson, and then you're going to translate the text on the right. Here are your answers on this slide then at the bottom. Just for them direct object pronouns, they are in the right hand side paragraph. First of all, you have got la he probado, and you have got probarlas. So you've got, I have not tried Spanish food, but I would like to. I'm going to try tortilla, since my mum told me that it was, she went to Granada last summer and she tried it. So remember, the direct object pronoun is not repeating. You could have said she tried tortilla, but we've said she tried it, and it's la because you're referring to la tortilla. She tried it for the first time and it was so as delicious as patatas bravas. Patatas bravas are small potatoes with sauce, and I would like to try them. Again, your direct object pronoun has been added onto your infinitive this time, and it's probar las because it's las patatas bravas. So you've got your activities at the bottom, green, orange or red. Take your pick as to how confident you feel. First thing you've got to do is fill in the table. Then you have a different activity. You have to translate the verbs in different tenses and use them in a sentence to show that you've understood when to use these different tenses. This should probably take you about 5 minutes, and your answers are on the next slide. So finally, your writing task for today, we're working at grade 4, 5 and 6. We're going to work at grade 4 minimum because for that you just need to refer to past, present and future, which everyone should be able to do. We're focused on the perfect tense this lesson. If you've struggled, just go back, get some vocabulary using that perfect tense so that you can just copy and paste it into your work and start recycling the vocabulary that we're starting to become familiar with. So for the green box, you're going to write about 3 sentences, the orange about 5, and the red a short paragraph. You've got your success criteria to help you. Don't overcomplicate it if you're struggling. Always remember to go back through the lesson, pick out the vocabulary, and just in your books you'll have the blue table with your tenses in the back. Always keep that readily available to help you, and keep your Buzz Lightyear sheet readily available to help you get in some higher level phrases, just to add some originality and range to your work. So once you've done that, I want you to upload your writing task to Show My Homework. That's from the previous slide 13. And then it says complete the Show My Homework quiz. Now the Show My Homework quiz will go up in a week's time, just to make sure it gives you some time to actually go through the lesson first without attempting the quiz without actually having done the lesson, because the quiz matches with the lesson. Obviously, if you do the lesson today, you do the writing task, and then you come back to the quiz in a week's time, it may be worth just having another quick glance over the lesson just to familiarise yourself with the vocabulary and the perfect tense.